Satang Prasanga.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, and welcome to today's session. How are you doing? I pray that all is well with you and your families at this time. So we're moving on with the second part of the letter to Yamuna Devi, and we were very excited to hear and see how Srila Prabhupada was relating with her and appreciating what she's done, and the other 5 devotees, 5.5 devotees. And he was so grateful to them for their efforts in trying to preach in London. So the letter continues. We catch it at this paragraph. Srila Prabhupada says, "So far colors that may be offered to the deities." So she's asking a question about color coordination for the deities. And this is quite an interesting topic. As a pujari, we also had this many times. This topic would come up, and we would ask the head pujari and find out research. So technically every day of the week is a different color that's used. But to coordinate that was really very, very difficult. So in Vrindavan, we would actually just mainly observe color coordination on 2 main days. And that was Ekadashi and Amavasya. So on Ekadashi, whatever the color may be, but the background or the strongest color was silver. Because on Ekadashi day, we would use silver. No gold jewelry, no gold, nothing gold. Everything is silver. So that was used on Ekadashi days. And also on Purnima days, we had another color coordination of white. Whenever it was Purnima, the main predominant color would be white. So we had a few outfits that were white as well and silver. And then on Amavasya, which is the dark moon, the darkest night, then we had I think we had 2 black outfits in Vrindavan to color coordinate for that day. But other than that, we would just use colors independently. I'm remembering there was a book written in the earlier years by Mahanidhi Swami Maharaj called Appreciating Vrindavan Dham. And towards the end of that book, he gives each of the principal Sakhis, the Astasakhi gopis, he gives each of their names and their predominant colors and what they colored their dresses would be, what color their outfits would be, what's their favorite colors, the patterns on their outfits. So many different details was given, So if we had to do that here in Mayapur, you can imagine. Vrindavan, we just had Lalita and Vishaka. So here we got 8 of them. From the left side, we remember, we gave you the sequence of how to remember them. VIRS, virus on the left, and on the right, TLCC. So VIRS, Vishaka, Indulekha, Rangadevi, Sudevi on the left. And on the right, Radharani side, then we have Tunga Vidya, Lalita, Chitra, and Champaklata. So these are the 8 Astasakhi gopis, predominant gopis. So each one of them has their own flavor, their own mood, and their own expression, which is an expansion of Radharani herself. So colors to coordinate like that on this altar would be really difficult. Every day to coordinate with the patterns, the colors for each gopi like that. The deity department would really be in a panic to do something like that. So Prabhupada is advising, keep it quite simple, and let's see his advice here. Prabhupada goes on to say, all colors may be utilized, just suitable to your scheme. So he's saying, keep it simple. Whatever scheme you are using, use all the colors for that. But remember, Krishna's predominant color is a yellow pitambara dhoti. And Radharani's color is two colors. One is crimson red that she would use also, and the other one is blue. So she would use both of these. Blue because it reminded her of Krishna, and crimson red because this is the color of Madhurya Ras. So Prabhupada is saying, go with the color coordination of your schemes. Prabhupada goes on to say, but black should not be used for the deity's dresses or for temple decorations. So now reading this, we only use the black color on Amavasya. So it's not just plain black, it's broken predominantly with purple. That one particular outfit has purple flowers and pink and gold and a bit of green. So it was broken up, and just the background cloth was black. And of course, we never decorate the temple with black. That's more, because deity worship comes from Pancharatrika Vidhi. So, and then also within that line, there's the Tantrics, which uses mostly this blackish kind of colors, the black arts. So we don't connect with that in any way. That's not our philosophy, that's not our line. So, Krishna is all beautiful, he has so many colors. So why you want to use black, which absorbs all the colors, So better use color which attracts the eye. The purpose of deity worship is to attract the person who is coming for darshan to Krishna. Make Krishna look, Prabhupada would say, make him look gorgeous. Kishore, 16-year-old youthful boy, beautiful. So make him look gorgeous, Prabhupada would say. So Prabhupada goes on to say, Krishna as he is appearing in our temples is in his Kaishore age. Yes, so this is what I was saying just now. That he's in this age of 16-year-old boy. He doesn't grow older than that. Or he doesn't show the age older than that. On Kurukshetra, he was 125 years old, but still looking like Kaishore. That's why Shushupal, even Duryodhan, this is just a cowherd boy. How do we take him serious? Prabhupada goes on to say, and the dress which I have introduced is his dress of Kaishore age. So Prabhupada is saying that which I taught you all to dress Krishna as is in this Kaishore age. So in summer, we don't even put a chadar, or we just drape the chadar over the shoulder. And in winter, of course, you put jersey and thicker, warmer chadars and things like that. But Krishna is a carefree lad, and he's just wandering through the forests of Vrindavan. So the opulence of Vrindavan is its nature, not in jewels, and that's more Vaikuntha. Although we're worshipping Krishna as Lakshmi Narayana, I think Prabhupada mentions that here. Prabhupada says, in our temples, the deities, Radha and Krishna, are worshipped as Lakshmi Narayan, with all the opulence of their majestic lordships in Dwarka. So the mood is, you can't actually worship Radha and Krishna. They are not worshipped. You serve in their pastime. But in Dwarka, yes, Dwarkadish is worshipped with all opulence. So the mood of Braj is not worship. Remember, Krishna doesn't want to be worshipped in Vrindavan. He wants to be served with love, and he reciprocates love. That's why he doesn't even wear shoes. He's just free. So in Dwarka, he is king. Oh, Maharaj, Rajan. But he doesn't like that. He likes to be free like a 16-year-old boy. So when we are doing deity worship, unfortunately we have to worship him that way. So he's accepting it, although deity worship is not even for this age. But it is accepted because it was for the previous age. Trete krete dhyato Vishnu, trete yajato makai, dwarpa paryachanam kalo tat hari kirtanat. So krete dhyato Vishnu in Satya Yuga, Kreta Yuga, Satya Yuga, it was dhyato Vishnu, meditation on Vishnu. And Treta Yuga, Trete yajato makai, they did yagyas, yajato makai. And Dwarpa paryachanam. In Dwarpa Yuga, it's achanam, deity worship or temple worship. That's why Dwarkadish temple, Dwarkadish is worshipped with such opulence. And in Kali Yuga, Kalo tat Hari Kirtanat, Hari Kirtan. So Prabhupada is saying, we worship Krishna as Dwarkadish with full of opulence. But he does get tired of that, so we variate that. Especially in Vrindavan, we used to use a lot of flowers to decorate them. 1 or 2 necklaces, very little gold or any kind of jewelry like that. And we used to use mainly a lot of flowers because that's the mood of Braj. That's the mood of Braj. So Prabhupada goes on to say, the worship of Radha and Krishna as they appear in Vrindavan is a very advanced stage. So Prabhupada is saying this is at a very advanced level because it requires service, not worship. So you must have already developed love for Krishna in order to serve. We're not just worshipping, we're serving. There is a difference with that. So Prabhupada is saying that service in Vrindavan is very advanced level. Prabhupada goes on to say, so we worship them in the temples as Lakshmi Narayan. So in order to receive worship, awe and reverence. Remember, Vrindavan is not awe and reverence, it's Madhurya. It's not Audharya. So how if we go in with that mood of worship there, then we break the bhav. It becomes rasa bhas. We break the mood that they're in. Prabhupada in a previous letter was saying, you worship the Lord in that mood. Don't break his mood. Because that's why he wants to be in that place, because that brings out a certain mood. So Prabhupada is saying here, worship Krishna in that mood. Actually, there is no difference because Lakshmi Narayan is directly the expansion of Radha and Krishna. So in Tattva, they are the same. There is no difference, identical. But in Rasa, in mood, in flavor, in Bhava, then it's different. That's why he has a different mood in each place. In Dwarka he has a different mood. In Vaikunta he has a different mood. In Ayodhya he has a different mood. In Vrindavan he certainly has a different mood. So, but in Tattva it's all the same person. But in Rasa it's different. So Prabhupada explains here, we are following the prescribed method of temple worship as it is the effective program for developing the highest perfection of pure love of Krishna. So Prabhupada is saying here, this is why we're doing temple worship, because it gives you that opportunity to serve Krishna directly and therefore develop love. When you serve someone, you develop love for them. Gradually by service, love develops. So that's why Prabhupada introduced it. Prabhupada goes on to say, if prasadam is to be honored in the temple room, the curtains may be drawn before the deities while the devotees are taking prasadam. So Prabhupada is saying, if we have to use that same temple room, I think this question came up in a previous letter as well. If we have to use the same temple room, then the deity curtains must be closed. Because Krishna is standing giving darshan and you taking prasadam there. So we don't dishonor Krishna that way. Therefore we close the curtains. Prabhupada goes on to say, the best arrangement is to honor prasadam in a separate room for the purpose if possible. So Prabhupada said, better you have a prasadam hall, a prasadam serve-out area. That is best. But surely if you're having it in the temple room means you probably don't have that facility. So Prabhupada is saying, then this is what you do. He goes on to say, The Aarti articles may be returned to the same place, especially the conch shell, but the deeps lamps should be set down from their places because they must be washed. So Prabhupada is saying it's okay the conch shell, because the pujari, before he blows the conch, he does achman on it. And then he blows and immediately does achman again. So the conch is fine, but the deeps, the oil lamps, that oil lamps will start to smell, it will get discolored, it needs to be washed regularly. So Prabhupada is saying you must make sure you wash the oil lamps. I am very glad to learn that the 3 girls from France are advancing nicely under your tutelage. Please continue to train them up to chant regularly and to always keep engaged in Krishna activities. As ideal householder girl, you are giving them the best example of Krishna consciousness life. So Prabhupada is saying, you train them up. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's message as well. Jare deke tare kaha Krishna upadesh. Amara gyay guru hai tare desh. Whoever you meet, just tell them about Krishna. And you become like a Shiksha guru to them. Guide them, help them. That's all Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying. Whoever you meet. So she's met these girls. So Prabhupada is saying you are a good example of a householder. Now you train them as well. Prabhupada ends the letter by saying, please offer my blessings to them and to all the devotees. Hope this meets you in good health. Your ever well-wisher, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. So another beautiful letter. Today's theme was more on deity worship and how we can dress the deities. So I hope we learned something from that. Please join us again tomorrow. Hare Krishna.